All right, so we're here with Molly West and Tony Elstrom and Daniel Schmidt today. Some of our newer hires. Daniel's been with us coming up on a year.
Yeah.
Almost. And he's got an interesting you've had an interesting year, I'd say.
Not what I expected, signing up to be a videographer here. But.
Well, I definitely want to dive into that and talk about it, because I don't know if you guys know what he's been doing for the last year, but it has not been exactly what he was hired on to do. And Tony Elstrom came on as one of the big wigs, and came on with a ton of experience. We're excited as heck to have him on. And you've been with us a matter of weeks.
My third week now.
Third, yeah. Yep. Already making waves in a good way. So definitely want to dive into that. And Molly, this is your third day, right? Third day, right? We're still in single digits here. And just so you guys know, this is more for the idea behind these is to reach all of our crews in the field. People don't see the back side of what drives the whole operation outside of just in the field, which obviously in the field is 90%, but without that 10% support in the back, whether it's getting the jobs or making all the back office stuff work, the in the field stuff doesn't happen. So we want to kind of connect the gap or bridge that gap. Right. So this is one of the main ideas, and we video it, but it's mostly just for the talking points, and we just want to hear your ideas. I don't want to continue to completely dominate the conversation. Daniel, can you touch on what you've been doing for the last year and yeah, just
too much.
All right, we're cutting that part out. That's not.
But so I got hired on as a videographer. So my first month and a half working for Melcor, I was actually just doing videography. I was at the Houston job site. I was filming, and I had another freelance job. So I went to Arizona. I came back, and then I wake up at probably 7 a.m, and I see a text from James.
Late, of course.
I see a text from James. It's like, hey, want to come halfway across the world and be a driller with us? And I've been working with the company for a week or for a month or so, and I was like, okay, sure. And probably the dumbest decision I've made in a while, because it was fun stuff. But we were out there 4 months. I mean, you were out there 5 months. So you had it.
You were out there 5. I was out there 6.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you had it worse. But yeah, so I became a driller for a solid 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Ended up learning the industry a lot better than I thought I would.
Learned what a wire brush is, and I'll touch on that.
And didn't lose any connections.
No, you didn't. Yeah, best bottom side wireline guy we have ever had.
But yeah, so after coming back from that, then I went back to full-time focusing on these types of projects specifically, and just trying to make Melcor more of a brand and more of a personality rather than just a faceless company. Right. And I think that's what I really want to do, because you see so many companies online that they're just a storefront, and that's this gives us the ability to be more than that, and like you said, to kind of bridge that gap, because a lot of you have these giant corporations that are so faceless, and their employees they just, this is just somebody else I'm working for. This kind of, I don't want to say takes us to the field, but almost makes us a little bit closer to being with our actual crews in the field. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm here.
Cool. Can you just expand a little bit about where we were, what we were doing? Obviously, without going into the details we can't share, but as far as the
wire brush.
Well, you can leave that part out if you want, but that is yeah. Okay, I guess we do have to hit that first.
So the wire brush story was, I had been on the job for a day. I think it was our first day out there. And we had, our driller and our mud man. They were out doing some work on the drill, getting it prepped and ready to go. And I have no clue. I'd never seen a drill until that day. So I'm just lost for everything. And then Doug, our mud guy, asked, he's like, hey, can you get us a wire brush? And I was in my head trying to figure out what was what. And I was like, what's a wire brush? And then, in not so nice a way, Doug was like, it's a wire brush. Go get it.
It's a brush. It's wire.
So that became a running joke while we were there. But you know, we were out in Diego Garcia, the British Indian Ocean Territory. So
Nice.
in just about in the most middle of nowhere, I think you can get. You're 1,200 miles from the nearest mainland.
Yep.
But yeah, it was a
Good
cool
experience
job
for
out
you,
there.
though.
For sure. Yeah. No.
A lot of people say they've done that.
Yeah, no, I'm
And
definitely happy with that. Yeah, it was, and it also gave me new perspective on just the actual process itself. Because definitely I noticed that when I got back, you know, that first month and a half that I was filming, I was just kind of shooting whatever moved. To be completely honest, but now I definitely know not only what to film, but also like the pre-planning. Okay, we're at this step. This is going to come. It's a little more innate now than just having to ask you, hey, what's going on? What am I looking for?
Right.
So that plus the experience I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Plus I got paid.
Can't beat that.
Well, now you got stories to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, so good deal.
Certainly do. That experience for everybody involved was definitely a new one. As far as not the job itself was standard. It was where it was and then the logistics to get there. I mean, we flew on military flights to all around the world, stopped multiple places. It was an experience, and it was so in the project planning. All the project planning was pre-COVID. COVID hit, the job started, and we didn't have very much time to replan or redesign how we were going to approach the job because COVID changed. I mean, it flipped everything, and especially a job with this kind of logistics. And then, of course, the whole what was it? The ship in the channel that turned sideways.
Yeah.
That was in the dead center of all of our
really?
logistics, and of course, even though it wasn't we didn't have a ship in the channel, but that affected logistics worldwide, and that was in the dead middle of what we were doing. All right, so where were we? We had talked about what you were doing, and
Yeah, so I think we just wrapped up with
Yep.
my adventures as a driller, and then back to what I was doing for the company.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Whenever we got the
Tim
other
and
company
Nick, yeah.
to come in and do
Yep.
a little segment with us. So
So really, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but before I just want to catch everybody up. We were in the middle of going through things with Daniel, Tony, and Molly here, and the boys from Trinity Products swung in the office, so we kind of sidestepped, did a little meeting with them, and now we're back. So yeah, thank you for regrouping. This has been it's a Thursday morning here. This is really not the opportune time to be doing this for any of us, but had to make the time. Daniel's been asking us for a while, so
Cracking the whip.
a little bit.
have to do something or have to prove I'm worth something.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
Shows
All
some
right.
Character there.
I've noticed that you have some pretty.
Cool socks.
Yeah. That's. I was thinking of. You see them. You definitely notice them.
I don't need a safety vest on. Show the socks.
Awesome. Well, going off of your socks, Tony Elstrom. I think I touched earlier. He joined us as one of the big wigs and coming in with definitely a lot of experience. We're excited to have you on. It's been an interesting first few weeks. And one of the things I want to talk after you guys talk individually, I want to talk about kind of your introduction to Melcar, how it's been, how it's going, and all that. So yeah, if you could,
Yeah.
tell whatever you want to share.
Yeah. First of all, I'm excited to be part of the team, and thanks for the opportunity. And like James mentioned, so I've got over 20 years experience in heavy commercial, predominantly industrial and oil and gas and power. And the idea was teaming up with Melcar and James and really opening up opportunities that with some clients that I've developed over the years in the power industry, that market that is really booming. There's not a lot of contractors out there that does that. It's a specialty similar to underground utilities and boring. So we thought it was a great opportunity to team up and really open up that avenue and make some introductions to some clients that, like I said, I've developed and have some work here in the near future, some good distribution underground work, as well as above ground overhead distribution transmission work. So, and really, it's an exciting opportunity, not just with overhead and distribution transmission, but substation work. There's a big market there too. Once we kind of develop and get some crews on board, eventually evolve into doing some substation work and obviously maintaining the existing underground utility work that we got going on. So great opportunity, exciting opportunity, and I'm excited to be a part of the team and really kind of get some momentum going there. So
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. We are definitely excited to have you on. We've and I know we've talked about this, but we've never really hired from outside. It's always been a production up the ladder, so or a progression up the ladder. So everybody that we have, PMs and supervisors and all that, they've all started with us, as laborers or in the field and just worked their way up. So it was an adjustment for both of us, I think.
yeah, absolutely, and that's huge that we do that. I would think, because that's shows loyalty in grooming. But there are some situations maybe where you may have to kind of expand outside a little bit,
Sure.
kind of bring in some immediate results. So, but yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And again, I'm excited to be on team, and the first 3 weeks have been very productive, fast moving, like you said. James, you have a great mind. I think we think alike as far as business approach, business development, and we take calculated risks. So I see a lot of similarities in your mindset. So that was another reason why I wanted to really join the team. So thanks again for the opportunity. I'm excited.
Absolutely. And Molly, you're like we said earlier, 3 days.
Yeah.
3 days in a week.
Congrats, welcome. I'm not a new guy anymore. So.
Yes, glad to be here.
Yeah?
Thank you for having me. It seems like, you guys have been extremely busy, excited about the growth and kind of transitional period, I guess you'd say. It's been good so far. Just looking forward to it.
Yeah, so I got the
I
email.
know, really.
I was in North Carolina last week. My son had a big baseball event, and James gave me a heads up that we were welcoming a new person over. So congrats.
Yeah,
And
yes, thank you.
so where'd you come from? What's your?
I came from ECI Drilling.
Okay.
And yes, lived there in, I guess, in May.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Good deal.
So
We're
looking
excited.
forward to it.
Awesome. So today I wanted to talk because Daniel, you've been here a year. You've been here a few weeks. I was kind of hoping to let a few months go by before we get to kind of talk about this, and we'll do another one. We'll definitely. I want to pick your brains here as we progress along. Looking back for me, almost coming up on 8 years ago, I don't remember really my integration into the company. It's kind of just a blur. But seeing you guys come on, and then Daniel seeing your progress and your and what you've achieved personally and career wise in the last year, it kind of reminded me that it does take time to get into the full swing of things. So this might be kind of difficult for you, Molly. Still going to be difficult for you, but compared to so we had some discussions when you guys came on. Daniel, I don't remember our discussions, but I'm not sure if I remember even talking to you much because short-term memory and all that. But how compared to what you guys were expecting and our discussions coming on board or about you guys coming on board, compare that to what it has been so far, where you guys see it going. This week has kind of just been nose to the grindstone, getting a few things done. We definitely haven't had a chance to sit down or anything. But Daniel, if you could.
Yeah. So whenever I got hired, this was a big change in environment for me as far as my video career had gone before, because I came from really the art industry. I was shooting music videos, it would be music videos, a few small productions for companies as far as like commercials and stuff like that. But it was really mostly cinematic. It was just mostly music videos, to be honest. And that's kind of how I got it. I mean, I got in by just vlogging, right? So that's how it started, was vlogging, and then it's the more artistic style, and that's kind of the style that I had developed when filming. And so when I got hired on with Melcar, I knew that it was going to be a different environment because I'm no longer shooting dance videos and stuff like that. Like there's actual work going on. So adjusting to that industrial environment, I guess, was definitely something new, because it stopped being so much as, hey, I'm shooting this music video so I can edit it, toss it out, and go, find something else, like find the next project. And it became more of this undertaking of a greater whole, of this entire project going on, because each piece that I was making, each video shooting would just connect to the next one, to the next one. Everything had to kind of coexist in the same space. And on top of that, it was a completely different work setting than shooting on a set in some studio wherever. It's actually on the job, live shooting, and you don't get a second chance because the job's actually happening. Right. I can't say, hold up, trip that pipe back, let me film that again.
Right.
He has tried, and it's not working.
But
you do great work though. You do really good.
Thank you.
I thought you were just IT guy when I got here. Really?
He doesn't know anything about apples.
Yeah.
We're working on that.
They're making Apple Cinema cameras the day I die. but that was my biggest adjustment. That, and it became more of understanding the company culture. Obviously, we haven't had too much in the office until more recently. But it's something I've grown to kind of like, because, like I said, I was just freelancing in the art industry, and now I'm doing industrial shooting, making it an entire project altogether, where all these videos I have to make and all these posts I make kind of coexist. And on top of that, having some sort of office culture, it's definitely a big adjustment, and it's a good one too. It's not what I expected when I got hired, but it's pretty cool. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing.
Cool. Touching more on the culture. Did you see the culture that we had before, and do you see how you're influencing it?
To be honest, I could see the lack of culture we had before.
That's good. Yeah. Well, it's good that we're fixing that.
Because I had glossed over the Instagram, I think, and we had a few posts, but it really. I mean, the first time I met you was in Odom, at the yard.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Great way. Hey, I think I might want to hire you. Can you drive 4 hours to come meet me? So I was like, all right.
And then when I got there, I think I was running around the yard chasing stray dogs, trying to... I caught him.
I was like, you must be James walking with a dog. But yeah, so that was my only real introduction to the company culture, was meeting some of the guys we had at the yard, just BSing around a little bit, and that was really it. There was when I got back, there was no real office culture. I mean, I really hadn't been into the office all that much until I was getting ready to leave for that drill job. So I really just didn't see that much culture to begin with. We've definitely progressed, not only like we were talking about earlier, the actual engagement online, but also just our office culture as well, bringing in more people, and just the way that we present ourselves. So.
Awesome.
Exciting.
Well, how about you, Tony? So we had talked a lot about the culture and a vision for the company and your part in that. A big reason for you coming on is to really maximize our production or our progress in that. What are your...
Yeah, we did. And that was one of the key topics that caught my attention, was, opportunity to kind of revamp and start a new culture, if you will.
Yep.
And that's I think, in my experience, when you have that opportunity to really be a part of changing or developing a culture, it's a unique and rare opportunity. There's a lot of existing companies out there kind of set in their ways already. So that, to me, is one that I've never really experienced, other than maybe the previous company I was with. My previous experience has been with corporations that already been established. So you're kind of just you adapt to their culture. But this one here, this is a unique opportunity again. In fact, it's not a startup company, but it's, you know, my job is starting up a new division and helping, you know, infrastructure and you know, creating a culture that James really talked about wanting to change, and that culture is important to me because obviously it's contagious, right? And when you kind of set that tone, abide by it, next thing you know, you're kind of living by it, not even thinking about it. So great opportunity so far. Again, exciting opportunity. And as far as the differences, in my experience, it's actually pretty similar to my previous job. As far as, you know, my previous job was a startup company. They knew what they wanted to do, and they needed somebody to kind of, you know, help get it going, get some momentum going. And Melcar's obviously been on the map for quite a while, but this division, the power division that we're pursuing and bringing in, is essentially a startup division. So some similarities there that I'm excited about. And so far to this point, which I expect is very seamless. You know, this is the calm before the storm. Next couple months will be the storm, and when that storm comes, we'll be ready and looking for another one. So yeah, again, I'm excited about it and really being a part of the team.
And it's also kind of like that. You had mentioned that, you know, we've been around for a while, but we're also experiencing this almost growth like spike all of a sudden that. I mean, over like, you know, you've been telling me over the past 2-3 years, Melcar has grown into this new entity almost, and kind of taken on a lot more, you know, different face on the business, and now we're bringing even more people. So I think the culture is still ever changing, and like you're saying, you came on, you're looking at moving some of that business culture and the way we do business, and now we're bringing on more people. I feel like that whole facet is kind of shifting as well.
Yeah,
so like,
that's good.
For sure, for sure. And something that Aiden touched on last week when we were sitting down and kind of going over this is, you know, we've always, and we're sticking to it, you know, one crew at a time. So every new crew, it's just one crew at a time, and we don't go and try to build the next crew until that crew is established exactly and good to go. So we're in a growth area right now where, you know, we need more than one crew at one time. We need to push, and we need a lot. Like we've got a lot of work to handle, but we need to stick to our roots with that, and that's how we maintain control of, you know, safety and quality and that kind of stuff. And so yeah, it's definitely an interesting growth spike.
Yeah.
Where were we? What were we?
Well, so we just got done to, you know, you and I were talking about the culture and
Yep.
change in face on both like the actual like personal culture and the business culture as well. I guess Molly, if you wanted to, you know, talk about your experience, just, I mean, you had been telling me earlier, like, I'm not trying to make myself look like I do a good job, but when you had gone online, you had seen kind of, you know, the way we did things from the video. You said that you enjoyed some of the videos we had produced, and I was wondering what kind of a company impression did you get from that before you even came to meet James? Like, what, being an outsider and watching our videos, what impression did you get from that? What was your takeaway?
Yeah. Well, first off and foremost, the videos are great. Quality's amazing.
Thank you.
Looking at other, you know, different ones, I would definitely say y'all stand out. Just, I guess, all around, I would say, you know, that y'all, I would, you know, I'm gonna get all, like, you'll definitely have your stuff together, and, I mean, I don't really know.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you asked that question because I noticed. Let me help you out too. So, social media is huge nowadays, and
It's not picking them up as well as it is.
Oh, okay.
the
bars are huge, and yours are.
the social media, you know, that tool, that platform is big in the market and in any industry, and that's one thing that I do notice is you guys utilize that, and I think a lot of that is youth and the movement, you know, and like yourself really, you know, implementing that and pushing that, and to kind of chime in on the videos. James showed me the videos a couple of weeks ago, and they are it's impressive. You know, it's personable. It really you know, it makes a point, you know, and that's a big tool. It really is. So that's one of the things I've noticed too. Similar to what you were
Absolutely,
saying,
I would say the same.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, you said you checked out a few other companies. That's kind of the hopes that with, you know, if a new client or some potential new hire, somebody looks at these two businesses, we may be, you know, as far as employment goes and everything else, we may be identical, but if they go and see one company that has no face and just, you know, using Instagram for whatever they want or just not at all, and then they see us, that we actually look more like a team and more cohesive. The hope is, you know, to
I
do
think
that.
we need to start
100%.
making some TikTok videos from Melcar.
So sort of dance videos.
I can go with the abs to the dances.
Yeah. Pull a hamstring doing that.
Yeah, no.
Awesome. Sorry guys, I got zoned out there on a few other things.
No, I'm just thinking about making a milk on TikTok.
We gotta fix the Facebook first. I'm not too sure about the whole TikTok thing. I might be a board decision above my. So we're the videos and our you know our online presence, is that part of your reason for wanting to come on?
Absolutely.
Did that influence? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think like I said, with the day and age or whatever, you know, now the world that we're living in, the social media is a big deal. It really is.
Yep.
So, and the way that y'all are pushing it and presenting, I guess, you know, presenting yourselves is definitely a positive for sure.
Did you think you'd be on social media when you and I?
Absolutely not. No, but that's
Well, you're famous now.
there we go.
It's a little difficult for me because we see other companies doing it more so on the product side, where you know they're really active on social media. They're promoting their products. We don't sell a direct product. We don't sell something that you can just with a few clicks and enter a credit card, you've gotten our sales done. The social media for us is a little different, or I should say very different, because I don't see a direct correlation between, you know, our online presence and us being awarded jobs. The closest that we get to that connectivity, if you will, is, you know, when somebody sees us on the bidders list, they're more likely to know who we are. But the jobs that we go after, the contracts we go after, you know, some cool videos and some transparency into who we are, that's not going to get us the contract. What I think this helps more so on is, and we've touched on this before, is the cohesiveness internally and the connection between the field and the office. You know, I think in the beginning of this episode, I quickly went over, you know, the huge gap between office operations and field operations, and one can't exist without the other. But there's usually such a big disconnect that the one doesn't understand what the other does. More so the field guys, you know, they are the ones that go and get this done. Nothing happens without what they do. The men and women out in the field, you know, we're nothing without them. They don't see how what you guys do here in the office, and Tony, you're in and out of the field. So you get in front of them, Daniel. But you know, there's nothing happens in the field without whatever was done in the office to facilitate that, and that's a gap that they don't see. And it's a little easier for us to see what they're doing, because, you know, daily reports and just our internal processes, we know what's going on in the field. They don't know what's going on in the office as much. So I see the social media push being a benefit, you know, again, internally, both to quality, just you know, the cohesive, the team attitude, part of the culture. I see a lot of other companies that you know, again, not in this industry, but they push the social media more towards their sales, and it is they push it in their structure and the industries that they're in. Their social media they can see a direct correlation with their social media output and their bottom line. I think the stuff that we're putting out there on social media, it's going to benefit us, if at all, if it benefits our bottom line at all, it's going to be a year from now, 2 years from now. It's not going to be, we push 1 month and we get a bunch of contracts 3 months or a month down the line. So it's a little different. But I definitely recognize and Aiden recognizes the importance of it. And also with Tony, I think this should really help your efforts here. The transparency and seeing who we are when you're out there in front of your clients.
Right, and I'm glad you said that. And that's I was going to try to the front end work as far as the development, business development, bringing in new clients. It's going to be a great tool, and it will benefit us because if they can't meet us in person for a particular date or whatever, they can search our website and really get the hands-on feel that they're getting live. So I would agree, but also it will benefit us with bringing in new work too, because we will have some opportunities doing some negotiated work. Mostly it is hard bid, but with the negotiated work, it's more of a meet and greet and smell and touch, and really want to get to know that particular contractor that is going to build their product. So I'm excited about this tool. I mean, it's as well as, like you said, it really helps kind of relate to our staff and out in the field too. That's all over the state. So it's a big tool. Absolutely.
Awesome. Is there any part of because culture is obviously it's a big push for us. Is there any part of what you guys have seen in your relatively very short times being here that we need to do better?
Not yet.
Yeah.
No.
If I had one comment, maybe if we could start our office days at noon.
If we started at noon, you wouldn't get here till 5. I promise.
No, I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll know more once we start getting work in. But I'll say this. I mean, we've talked at 1 a.m. So I mean, if I call you, you answer. That's really what I ask, and that's the case. So, but I mean, to this point, and I expect that, right? It's new, so we're gonna bump into some walls and figure out, maybe we need to go this way instead. So that's just part of it. But I mean, we can write down a plan on a piece of paper. It's not always gonna go that way. But to answer your question, I mean, I think the resources are there, the knowledge is there. There's a lot of talent that we have here. So, I expect it to be somewhat seamless. So there's gonna be some bumps in the road, but if that wasn't the case, everybody would be doing what we're doing. So, but
Very true. Very true. Well, guys, anything else that we'll cover for today?
You haven't run into any problems yet, Molly?
No, sir.
You sure? You sure?
we need water in the refrigerator. That's what we need. Paper towels.
Let's start making it.
Office.
Yeah. No, but really, I mean, we are an open book. So whether it's today, tomorrow, whenever you guys see improvements that are needed, go for it. If it's something that you need help on or can't do yourself, come to me. Come to anybody. We're all going the same direction.
Absolutely.
Just trying to, like you had said earlier, the gap between the field and the office, and I'm just going to try to close that gap.
Absolutely. And you'll probably find yourself in that position more on a day-to-day basis than anybody, because you're being the project coordinator, you are that interface.
Mm-hmm.
And
we're doing some badging, getting some badging done right now, and so I mean, there's things that I've got
Immediate results already. Yeah.
right. I've got to get some things done to where we can get that going. So
Actually, I did have actually one question, because obviously you and I have been working together for a while, and I've worked alongside you enough that I kind of know what you do. But I was actually going to ask, I'm not really entirely sure of your scope of work specifically. I was wondering if you could explain that and just what it is exactly.
Yeah. So I've been in the administrative department for about 6 years now. Construction for about 4, and that's where I like to be. I just, just the kind of like the backbone, just paperwork and closing the gaps and making sure that
you know, that the work can be done. There's obviously things that have to be done in the office to
Okay.
where they can get out there in the
Right.
field and get that work done.
So you do some more relational stuff as well, like between. So you're contacting the guys in the field too, and
Absolutely.
supervising. Okay, so you're bouncing
Mhm.
back and forth between us and them, and just linking it. Okay, gotcha.
Yep,
Gotcha.
just trying to keep it all together.
Absolutely, and that goes for the bidding process and the project execution. Molly's going to be involved in and is already with the share file, getting all that organized. So there's and we're just going to keep throwing more stuff at you. So
Perfect.
what you're doing today, you'll
Yeah,
be
if you have any tips on organization.
and apparently waking up on time. If you've got any tips for him on that, that's he could use every bit of it.
Today was impressive. I can't believe I made it.
So Daniel, this morning I get in and I get an email from our
Yesterday.
T-sheets.
yesterday.
Was
this
from
is for T-sheets.
Yeah, from T-sheets. Oh no, I'll touch on it based on yesterday's email. That was no. This morning I got an email and said Daniel clocked out at 7:25. I'm thinking, all right, clocked out. And I looked at it. All right, he was working from 4 a.m. to 7:25. Clocked out. I was like, all right, he better be on the road. He better be on his way here. And yesterday, about 9 o'clock rolled around, and we started at 8. And it was pretty flat across the board, like 8 o'clock. Get an email at like 9:30. That might be generous. It might be 10. I'm on the way. My phone didn't something. I'm like, oh god. And the thing, I wasn't even surprised. but so to follow that up, you're working. It's not uncommon for you to be up all night doing stuff.
Yeah.
And plugging along, and then and there are when you're out there in the field when you need to catch something, you're there. But yeah, I mean, there's just as many times as I say more times than you are late to the office. You're working all night. You're pulling all-nighters, and we really appreciate it. We see the results. Molly, you are the first person that we hired that said you'd already watched the videos. You've seen them. We've talked to plenty of people that have seen our Instagram and stuff like that, but nobody that I think took the time to go through all of them, and we appreciate it. We definitely, and that means it's starting to work. This is a new thing for all of us, it means we're seeing results.
Yeah. That's what it's about.
It sure is.
Absolutely. I would agree.
Well, if that's it for
I
what we
think
today,
we're good. If we
Cool.
just want to do a little sign off.
yeah. So we're here in our Conroe office with Molly West, Tony Elstrom, and Daniel Schmidt. We were going over some of the experiences that all three of these great people to have on the team have had in their relatively short time of employment. Daniel, a year. Tony just a few weeks, and Molly just a few days, and the differences that each one of them have seen, and the progress that we are seeing now and we're expecting. So this has been a fun one. Thank you for taking the time. I know everybody needs to get back to our real jobs, so like it, subscribe, follow, share it. We really appreciate the support, and any ideas that you guys have or that you want to see, any inside information about the company, about us, reach out to us, direct message any of us. Daniel is all over the social media, so he'll get right back to you when he wakes up. We're excited. So see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.